At the moment, around the country, children aged between 12 and 15 are poised to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. But there are some things that perhaps we should be aware of before they receive it. Children of that age receive a lot of peer pressure from friends, teacher, and the local community, which could influence their decision. Some researchers have said that social acceptance provides more overall protective factors than risk factors. That's certainly true in some instances. It's very difficult to stand aside as an individual and to look at other things the group might not have been aware of. But that's what we're going to do here. According to the information from Reuters and other news outlets, the vaccine's effectiveness drops from 88% to 47% 6 months after the second dose. Children who receive a second dose are more likely to experience an adverse reaction and side effects. According to this study, those who received the first dose, 114 received fever, 677 of them fatigue, 623 headache, and on the second dose, you can see that those numbers have increased. More children who received a second dose were more likely to get sick. It seems to be particularly true with boys. Telegraph have found that boys are 6 times more likely to suffer the side effects after 2 doses of the vaccine than be hospitalized if they catch the virus. So why this sudden drive to give every child the vaccine? Well, one of the reasons could be that the vaccine expires in May 2022 and that the government has stockpiled so much of the stuff that it needs to be used before the expiry date. Another reason, the money. The government have entered into a contract with the Pfizer producers that means that they must use the vaccine. On July 20th, 2020, there was a story that said the UK government has signed an agreement for 30 million doses of the Pfizer COVID vaccine. On the government's own website, 23rd of August 2021, they've signed another deal for 35 million vaccines from the second half of 2022. And that seems to link to its booster plan, according to the Express, which will launch in September 2022 next year. The idea being that this will protect more people during the winter. But it also seems like a continual jabbing will be required. As the jab's effectiveness seems to decline after a certain amount of time, the vaccinated will constantly need to be consistently jabbed, and contracts need to be consistently renewed, creating a sort of money cycle throughout. There are studies to suggest that repeated vaccination blunts the effectiveness of the original vaccination and damages the immune system, as shown here in the research done for influenza in 2017. Begging the question, who will benefit? How reliable and trustworthy will these new shots be? And how reliable and trustworthy is the company that will deliver them? Well, unfortunately, Pfizer does have a history of malfeasance, as highlighted here.
Since the year 2000, Pfizer has paid nearly $5 billion in penalties, with over $3 billion of those being on healthcare-related offences and $1 billion of those being on government contracting-related offences. So corruption, corporate corruption, paying off governments, as in the case of Kano, in order to experiment on people, according to allegations.
So possibly not a company you want to do business with, unless, of course, you want to make a lot of money. Thank you.